What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm comparing the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 5G with the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G. A lot of G's in there, but basically we're going to compare a super flagship with a stylus with a more budget-friendly phone with a stylus, and both of these have 5G. Let's go ahead and take a look. So there's very limited options if you want a good phone with a stylus with 5G, and these are the two phones. Either you pay $1,000 for the Galaxy Note 20, or you can get the new Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G for only $400 unlocked. So you have two different price points here. The overall size of the Galaxy Note 20 is 6.3 inches tall, around 3 inches wide, 0.33 inches thick. Moto G Stylus 5G is 6.6 inches tall, 3 inches wide, 0.37 inches in thickness. The Note 20 weighs 6.7 ounces. The Moto G Stylus 5G is 7.7 ounces, so the Stylus 5G is a little bit heavier. Both of these surprisingly have the same type of build quality for the most part. Glass front with a plastic back, but one is $1,000, the other one is only $400. The Note 20 is IP68 dust and water resistance, which the Stylus 5G does not have that. It's only water repellent. And both of these obviously have a stylus. The Galaxy Note 20 has a Bluetooth stylus with lots of features, lots of things that it could do. It's probably the best in class. You don't have a lot of options for stylus enabled phones, and the Galaxy Note 20 is, the flagship. That's what everybody goes to. But if you want, basic functions of a stylus enabled phone, the Moto G Stylus 5G offers it as a more compelling price, and it does not as much as the Note 20 stylus, but it will get things done. It's not Bluetooth enabled. It'll help you with notes. It'll help you do GIFs, so it'll just have you more precision in drawing and things like that. For the screen size, the Note 20 has a 6.7 inch display with around 89 to 90% screen to body ratio. The Stylus 5G from Motorola has a bigger 6.8 inch display with 85% screen to body ratio. You got a Super AMOLED display on the Note 20. You got an IPS LCD on the Moto G Stylus. But when you break it down to the resolution, they both have a 1080p Full HD display. So you're getting around 400 ppi density on both of these. You got 393 on the Galaxy Note, 387 ppi on the Stylus 5G. So surprisingly, both of these phones have around the same type of display with the same resolutions around the same ppi. But one's $1,000, the other one's $400. Both of these phones are rocking Android 11, but with different skins on top. Obviously the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 has Samsung UI 3.0 on top, which is it's very different. It has its own feel. It has a lot of features, and a lot of people are comfortable using it now. For a lot of people, that's their go-to skin to run on Android, while the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G has a super clean version of Android, it's almost stock version like a Pixel, and it has its own Motorola features such as the chop to enable the flashlight, or it has the twist to enable the front and back cameras. But both of these will run all your apps. You got your YouTube, you got your social media, you got your video, you got your music, your podcast, your messaging, your video chat, your light gaming, all that stuff will pretty much work perfectly on these devices, except when it comes to the chipset. The Galaxy Note has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor, while the Motorola Stylus 5G has a Snapdragon 485G. So obviously you have a flagship level chipset in the Galaxy Note, while you have a lower end 5G chip in the Stylus 5G. But for most people, 99% of the apps will work perfectly fine on both of these. Performance will be a little bit faster on the Galaxy Note, but not by much, because most apps aren't that heavy and intensive that most people use, and you should be satisfied with both. But obviously the most powerful one is Note 20, but you're paying for that with $1,000. For the internal storage, the Note 20 has 128 gigs starting out, but the Motorola Stylus 5G has 256 gigs of storage. So for $1,000, you're getting half of the amount of storage on the Stylus 5G. I'm very impressed with the internal storage of 256 gigs. Basically, you don't need a micro SD card slot to expand storage on the Stylus 5G. But you could if you wanted to, because it does have a micro SD card slot, unlike the Galaxy Note 20, which does not have a card slot. So in the storage department, the Motorola phone wins hands down for sure, offers a lot of value. Very impressed by 256 gigs of storage. The RAM, you got 8 gigs of RAM on the Galaxy Note, you got 6 gigs of RAM for the Motorola. Both of these amounts of RAM are more than enough for running most of your apps in the background with little to no problems. For the cameras, the Note 20 has a 12 megapixel main camera, 64 megapixel telephoto lens, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. The Stylus 5G has a quad camera setup, 48 megapixel main, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 5 megapixel macro, 2 megapixel depth. You can shoot up to 8K on the Note 20. You can shoot up to 1080p video on the Motorola Stylus 5G. Obviously, the better camera setup is on the Galaxy Notes, but you will also be taking pretty decent pictures. Overall, satisfied with the videos and pictures on the Stylus 5G. If you're outside or in the right light, it's probably going to struggle in the more darker settings. But if you're just taking a quick video outside or with good light, you could upload it to social media or send it to your friends. You'll be very satisfied with that. But if you obviously care a lot about camera and video quality and stuff like that, roll with the Note 20. It is very impressive all around. It's a flagship level camera system. For the selfie, the Note 20 has a 10 megapixel shooter. Stylus 5G, 16 megapixel shooter. You could shoot up to 4K on the selfie camera on the Galaxy Note 20. You could shoot 1080p video on the selfie camera on the Motorola Stylus 5G. One advantage on the Stylus 5G is that it has a headphone jack, while the $1,000 Note does not have a headphone jack. So a very surprising, very nice advantage on the Stylus 5G. Both have Bluetooth on board, so they'll both connect happily with your wireless devices. You got Bluetooth 5.0 on the Galaxy Note 20. Same thing with the Stylus 5G, and maybe even 5.1 if I'm not mistaken. But either version will happily connect to your smartwatch, smart band, wireless headphones, wireless speakers. The Note 20 has NFC, which is mostly used for payments, while the Stylus from Motorola does not. And they both use USB Type-C for the charging port. Now for unlocking and security, they both have fingerprint sensors, but the Note 20 has the under-the-display reader, while the Stylus 5G has a side-mounted fingerprint reader. Both of these are both reliable ways to unlock a device, except I don't know, I feel more comfortable using a physical fingerprint reader either on the side or on the back compared to these ones that are under the display. And that's really what sets apart a flagship feature from a mid-range to lower end phone is the in-display fingerprint reader. But like I said, I prefer mostly a physical one instead of under the display. But for battery, we're going to compare something very important in these 5G giant screen phones. The Note 20 has a 4300 milliamp battery versus the 5000 milliamp battery on the Stylus 5G. And I think this is a department where is very, very important. Obviously, the Stylus 5G wins by a long shot because it has a lower end processor and has a bigger battery. So although both of these should be good for one day, I hands down the Stylus 5G will get you 2 to 3 days of usage if you're not a heavy user, and that's very important. This is the trend now where lower price phones are beating out its flagship competitors, and that's kind of sad because battery is probably the most important thing in the phone. If you can't use it, doesn't matter what features it has. The Note 20 has fast charging at 25 watts. While the Motorola Stylus 5G really doesn't have any fast charging, it only charges at 10 watts. You also get fast wireless Qi charging on the Note 20 and reverse wireless charging as well. Well, basically, after reading all these specs, what do I think about both of these phones when you compare them head to head? Well, If you want a flagship level phone with a flagship level camera, the Note 20 delivers. It's been like that for years. It has really top end specs. It has everything you want in an Android phone and then some. And it's dominated the phone market if you wanted it with a stylus. But now with LG out of the picture, they don't make their stylo line anymore. The Motorola has taken that role and fully embraced it, and it came out with a really good competitor to the Note 20. If you don't want to spend $1,000, the Stylus 5G at $400 unlocked is a great deal, great alternative to the flagship Note 20. And right now, I don't see it on prepaid here in the US, but if it does, and you get it for free or for $50 on prepaid, it's definitely gonna kill the Note 20 in terms of value. So, I mean, I like both of these phones, but obviously the big thing that these offer are stylus. Except you get more features on the Note 20 5G with the stylus. But the Stylus 5G, it does its basic stuff on taking notes, on having more precision. If you wanted to color and doodle and stuff like that, there's not much that you could do with a stylus. But if that's something that really appeals to you, I highly suggest getting the Stylus 5G. It has just the right feature. It has a great battery life. It has micro SD card slot, and it has an impressive 256 gigs of storage. And overall value, from a price standpoint and value standpoint, the Stylus 5G just kills it. It blows the Note 20 out of the water. Most people will be happy with the limited features of the Stylus 5G if that's something you really care about. But like I said, if you want flagship level specs and a flagship level camera, get the Note 20. That's been my video comparison and review of the Note 20 and the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.